Hello and welcome to the Peamcast, where we talk about progressing electronics and more. Today I will show you a quick video that really grinds my gears. It just made me mad because I'll show you the video, but I do have to warn you, it's kind of quiet. I can't really make it any louder, but it's kind of quiet, so turn up your volume if you want to hear it all the way.
Apple sold more than 5 million iPhone 5's in its opening weekend, and that's a million higher than the last launch. Apple could have sold many more if they had enough supply. Many retail stores in large cities, including Best Buy, Radio Shack, and Target, didn't get enough to fulfill pre-orders. Some reportedly only got about 8 or 10 in a store. And when you have 5 million people around the world racing to be the first to have the iPhone, there are high standards. So when we hear about problems with this symbol of phone perfection, it becomes a story. You've heard about the troubles with Apple's new maps, such as missing data, distorted images, and wrong directions. Apple has said it will get better in time as more people use it. There are reports that Apple is seeking to hire Google engineers in the rush to improve the service. Competitors are already using map problems to mock it, like in this Motorola Droid Razor ad, which created the hashtag #ILost to compare it alongside Google's maps. But a few more problems cropped up over the weekend. Some users report to have issues with a poor Wi-Fi connection. Some are posting photos of the light leaking out of the power button, and others have posted photos showing that their iPhones are coming out of the box already with scratches. Man, people can't even savor their first scratch anymore. Expect to hear more quirks over the next week. Like, did you know the Verizon iPhone 5 comes unlocked and can work with an AT&T SIM card? Of course, Verizon's customers likely already signed up for a 2-year contract, but it's just interesting that they have the option to easily switch to AT&T if they wanted to.
Okay, that is a little segment I'm going to show you right now. Now let's break down this video. Okay, the first thing they talked about was that they sold out. They said that they sold out. Okay, the first of all, Apple did not sell out. They and you may think, well, they sold out because the Foxconn was broken into. If you guys heard about that, I will show you that part of this video. Foxconn was broken into, and there was, okay, they say in this video there was like 2,000 people in the riot. Well, what I heard was there was about 600 people in this riot, and they rioted Foxconn. They shut Foxconn down. And Foxconn, if you don't know, it's a place that makes Apple products. Not just Apple, but they make phones, like they make cell phones, Android, BlackBerry, all kinds of stuff. And so they shut it down for a little bit, and that is not the cause. The cause of them selling out of iPhones is because they stirred up the news. They stirred up all kinds of stuff. Like, if they didn't sell out, nobody would be talking about this right now. I wouldn't be talking about it, and you wouldn't be looking at iPhone stuff. Well, you probably would still be looking at iPhone stuff, but you wouldn't be interested in, wow, did they sell out? Am I going to get one? I'm not going to get one. When am I going to get mine? You know, people constantly talking about it makes more people want to know about it selling out.
Radio Shack and Target didn't get enough to fulfill pre-orders. Some reportedly only got about 8 or 10 in a store. And when you have 5 million people around the world racing to be the first to have the iPhone, there are high standards. So when we hear about problems with this symbol of phone perfection, it becomes a story. You've heard about the troubles with Apple's new maps, such as missing data, distorted images, and wrong directions. Apple has said it will get better in time as more people use it. There are reports that Apple is seeking to hire Google engineers in the rush to improve the service. Competitors are already using map problems to mock it, like in this Motorola Droid Razor ad, which
All right, this is the second thing I want to talk about. Okay, this really makes me mad because this is big time. This just makes Google hypocrites, like big time. Because when Google Maps first launched, this was years ago. When Google Maps first launched, it was horrible. I'm not gonna lie, Google Maps was really bad. The pictures were all pixely. You couldn't really zoom in all the way. It was just not good. There was all kinds of problems with it. It was really bad, and people complained about it just all the time because it was just so bad. But it was new and people loved it, but people complained about the quality and stuff. So it's been updated a lot. And since it's been updated, I mean, it's perfect. It's awesome. Ever since it's been updated, and it runs great. So now Apple decides they're going to create their own maps, and there's one or two things wrong with it, and they have probably 50 times the amount of stuff that Google had when they first came out their maps. They had so much. Apple has so much more than on their launch than Google did. Theirs is so much better than Google's launch of Google Maps, and I don't see why Google is making a big deal out of this, because they had worse problems. And Apple, this just makes Apple look better, honestly. Just having a few flaws with it. I honestly expected many, many flaws in these maps, because this is brand new technology. Nobody has ever seen 3D mapping like this before. It's completely brand new. And Google has no say in this. They better shut their mouth, because they have nothing. I'm sorry if I sound mean, but they have nothing compared to Apple on this. It may run a little bit slow, but they're already trying to fix stuff. Google didn't even try and fix it forever, and Apple's already hammering it down. They are fixing it, and it will be better. It'll be way better than the Google Maps. And I mean, you can't expect a brand new product that has never been seen before to be perfect. And this is also very hypocritical, and it's just so stupid of Google to put this up, because the Droid Razor right here in the picture, why would they put the Droid Razor in the picture? Well, if you know anything about the Droid Razor, they came out with the phone called the Droid Razor. Now, this phone was great. Everybody loved it. Everybody wanted the Droid Razor. But they found a ton of flaws. They found so many flaws with the Droid Razor that they had to come out with a new one, the Droid Razor M by Motorola. It's a completely different phone. And, well, I guess it's not completely different, but it's a different phone because the Droid Razor had so many problems. So this picture that they're showing right here is completely ridiculous. This is so biased on their part, because you can turn on satellite, and they didn't turn on satellite in this picture, which makes Apple look like they don't have very good maps. But they have probably 10 times as good as maps as Google had when they launched theirs. So Google, I'm not going to lie, you guys better shut your mouth, because the competition is on, and you guys are owned pretty much by Apple. Apple is the number one company in the world, so I wouldn't be talking down to them. You should better be talking up to them, because they are your peers. Apple owns everything, pretty much. They have more money than anybody. They're the biggest company in the world, and they're predicting that they will reach the Apple will reach a value of over $1 trillion, which their value right now is at about $600 billion. That is a big value for a company. So let's go on, and I'll break down more of this.
And the hashtag iLost to compare it alongside Google's Maps. But a few more problems cropped up over the weekend. Some users report to have issues with a poor Wi-Fi connection.
Okay, the Wi-Fi issue. Okay, I've heard just a few things about this Wi-Fi issue. Now, every single phone you buy is going to have its issues. You cannot buy a perfect phone, and I am not saying this because I'm biased. Personally, I have an Android phone, but I will be getting the iPhone 5 eventually. So the Wi-Fi issue. Okay, one person has a Wi-Fi issue, and instantly it is a media story. It is a news story. People want to talk about it, because when they find a flaw in the best phone in the world, instantly people think, well, it's a bad phone now because it has this flaw in it. Well, that's just one person had this flaw. I'm not saying more people don't, but just one person reported it, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, I have that issue too. So right when one person reports something, an issue in a phone, it instantly becomes a news story, and everybody starts saying, yeah, I have that issue too. Like, I have the Evo, and if I said, well, my screen comes out, and that could become a news story, and instantly more people could say, my screen comes out too. So this is not a big deal. This Wi-Fi issue, it is not a big deal at all. Just because one person had an issue and then more people are like, oh yeah, I have that issue too, that doesn't mean anything. Every phone has its problems. This will be resolved. I guarantee you this will be resolved soon. So let's continue on with the breakdown of the video. Oops, I'm sorry.
Posting photos of the light leaking out of the power button, and others have posted photos showing.
Oh, right. The light leaking out of the power button. This is the most ridiculous thing in this podcast. Well, yes, I say podcast because the CNET update, as you see, is actually a podcast on iTunes. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen because just about every single Android phone or Apple phone you buy, it will have light leaking out of it somewhere. If you go into a dark room, you turn the phone on, there will be light leaking out of somewhere, whether it's a port in the USB port, the charging port, the volume rockers, the power button, the headset jack. There will be light leaking out of it. It's impossible to stop that light. If you look around your phone in a dark room, you will find light leaking out of somewhere. So this little tiny light leaking out, that is not a problem at all. All that means this person probably, and Apple does not have a very bad history of light leaking out of their phones. They have a very good history. So what this probably means is this person probably dropped their phone. It bent up their frame just a little bit enough to where you can see the light come out. And what I mean by bending up the frame, that's not meaning that it's all smashed up. I mean, they just gently dropped it and it barely, like, you could drop it on carpet and it could do this. That's what I did to my phone, and it does that. It is a common issue in any phone, not just smartphones. I had the rumor too, and it was horrible with light. The light was leaking out of the sides everywhere. Same with the rumor touch, but not as much. So let's continue this breakdown of this video.
That their iPhones are coming out of the box already with scratches. Man, people can't even savor their first scratch anymore.
Alright, let me go back. Are you kidding me? This little tiny, that's not a scratch, by the way. That is something on the lens. That is not a scratch. This is what they're worried about. That little tiny thing. What this is not a scratch from the box or anything of that nature. This is not from the factory because it goes straight from the factory to a box. This cannot be dropped. The phones cannot be dropped. The only possible way a phone can be dropped is if it's taken off the production line and physically dropped. What this means is this person did it themselves and they blamed Apple. They dropped it on accident and they took a picture of it and said Apple did it. And that's exactly what happened here. So they're trying to blame Apple and get their money back, which that's not really a bad idea. Everybody does that. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody, something will break and you'll say, well, it was like that when I bought it, so they'll take it back. So this person, they're not a bad person. It just, they did it. Apple didn't. So let's continue. If there's any more, I don't think there is.
Man, people can't even savor their first scratch anymore. Expect to hear more quirks over the next week. Like, did you know the Verizon iPhone 5 comes unlocked and can work with an AT&T SIM card? Of course, Verizon's customers likely already signed up for a 2-year contract.
Okay, I really have nothing to say about that, the fact that it's unlocked. I actually think that's a pretty cool idea. Having an unlocked phone, I think that's a really cool idea because you can have it on whatever you want. You don't have to worry about ordering it straight through Verizon or AT&T or Sprint. Unlocked is a good idea.
Contract, but it's just interesting that they have the option to easily switch to AT&T if they wanted to. iPhone scratches are the least of the troubles over at Foxconn, the factory where the iPhone is made. There was a worker riot at its factory in northern China. The company says several people were injured and sent to the hospital, but some reports say as many as 2,000 workers were part of a riot. Sources say it was after a guard struck a worker and police had to get involved. That factory closed Monday. BlackBerry maker research.
All right, we're not gonna listen to the BlackBerry stuff. Honestly, people complaining about a little nick and scratch and light coming out of their phone. Are you kidding me? You're gonna say that after the workers in Foxconn are getting hit by cars, risking their lives, literally risking their lives to build you phones. These people work in sweatshops. That's what Foxconn is. People, they work there. They get beat. Literally, they get beat. They get hit. And you're worried that you dropped your phone and you're blaming it on Apple? Seriously? These people are beat to death. I'm not saying this just, I'm saying this because it's real. This actually happens. These people are beat to death making sure these iPhones are right. So if they drop a phone, do you think they're going to let them put that into production? No. These phones have never been dropped before. These phones are perfect. The Foxconn workers do a perfect job because they are forced to do a perfect job. And that is horrible. They're treated horribly. And people are worried that they have a little scratch on their phone. Well, guys, I'm sorry, but suck it up. There's something wrong with every phone in the world. You can't find a phone that doesn't have something wrong with it. So, I have been talking for a while. If you want to watch this video, go on to cnet.com, or you can go to CNET update and just type in this video, whatever. I'm not going to put a link in the description for this video because I hate this video. I hate it to death because it just doesn't make any sense at all. Nothing in this video was true. Everything was false. And I'm not saying that because I'm not an Apple lover. I'm really not. I'm not in love with Apple. I've never had an Apple phone before. I'm just not, I'm not pro Apple. I'm more pro Android, but I am exploring my options and I'm going to get an iPhone 5. So don't think that I'm biased because I'm really not. It's just people need to get their facts straight. This grinds my gears. Tell me what you guys think about this. Do you guys think the iPhone 5, do you think people are complaining too much about the iPhone 5 or what? So make sure to follow me on Twitter at LucasWillis23. I'll put a link in the description below. And remember, you can comment below with a topic for the next Peemcast. And if I like it, I will subscribe to you. So make sure to share this video, and however many more shares you get, or however many more shares I get on this video, I will reward you guys. So share it and you have a special surprise coming. Alright, so stay tuned for the next Peemcast, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.